We've finished vertex form and we've started factored form. So quick review, vertex form, y equals a bracket x minus h and a bracket all squared plus k. And from this, our most obvious piece that we're given is our vertex of h and k. We know that h coordinate, or the x coordinate, is going to give us our symmetry, and we know that the k value, or the y coordinate, is going to give us our max or min value. We know A is going to tell us it's opening up or down, if it's stretched or compressed. So now factored form. And the first and most obvious part that it's going to give us are our x-intercepts, or the zeros. So when does x plus 5 equal 0? And when does x minus 10 equal 0? So if we subtract 5 from both sides, that isolates x. And when x equals negative 5, this whole equation will equal 0. Same thing if we add 10 to both sides, that isolates x, and x becomes positive 10. So when x is positive 10, it'll equal 0, and when x is negative 5. And you can check that by just plugging that back in. Negative 5 plus 5 is 0, and 10 minus 10 is 0. So we know that on our graph, at x equals negative 5, and at x equals positive 10, it's going to cross the x-intercept. Those are the values of 0. And thinking about that in a problem-solving situation, you can think about it almost as your start and your finish location. And when are those values, whether it's time or money or distance, we're going to have a 0 and a 0 value. So then, to be able to graph a parabola, you always need a vertex and your a value. We do have an a value. Y equals a x minus s, x minus t. So our a is out front, and here there's no written value, so it is a 1. So we can do our step pattern of 1, 3, 5, knowing a is 1. But now to find the vertex. Our vertex is always symmetrical, so we know that it's going to be the exact middle of our two x-intercepts. So we have negative 5 plus 10 divided by 2. 5 divided by 2, so 2.5. So our x-coordinate of our vertex is 2.5. So now we need to find the y-coordinate, and we're going to plug that back into our original equation. So we have 2.5 plus 5, 2.5 minus 10. So we have 7.5, and we have, what's that, 8, 7.5 negative, and then we need to multiply those. So we have negative 56.25. So now we know our coordinates for our, and this is going to be our y coordinate. Our coordinates for our vertex are 2.5 and negative 56.25. So it's going to be somewhere a lot higher up there, but we'll say there for now. Our step pattern is 1, 3, 5, so we know it's going over 1, down 1, over 1, down 3, over 1, down 5, until it would cross. We know our max and min value, so because it's, oh, my mistake, it's going to be opening up, and we have this negative 5.6, so it's 2, negative 5.6. So our parabola opens up, and we have, from our a value opening up, we have our steps 1, 3, and 5. Our min value is negative 56.25, and that occurs at 2.5. So again, if you're putting it into context of a situation, the lowest value of 56.25 is going to happen at 2.5, whether it be seconds distance. But in this case, you would have to remember about this amount here and add it to here. So if it wanted to know how far will it reach its lowest point from its original starting position, well, it started this far away from your axis, so that was, let's say, 5 meters. This is 2.5 meters, so its max would be then 7.5 away from its starting point. So again, as we try these basic ones, start thinking about how they apply to the word problem scenarios.